Man, it feels really good to just have a setup video on my tripod rather than like hold my video handheld and try to talk about certain things. I'm going to do a little bit of a switch to this series I'm doing with this like consciousness overdrive. But so far, it's been absolutely insane with like the results I've been getting. Literally, if you look at the past videos, it's like just yesterday, literally just yesterday, I manifested certain things instantly, but it's going crazy. Like today, I woke up and originally my plan was I usually get up at 6 a.m. and I was going to just change the way I did the videos in the morning. Like I was preparing to be like, I'm not going to wait till the end of the day to report on what's going on because the whole point of this challenge or what I'm doing for myself to do what I did years ago to just do a complete like life switch and document it for you guys to see how it really is your consciousness. um just wild stuff happens. So for today, let me get the things out of the way and explain what I'm doing so I don't yap too much, because that's a thing that I still find a challenge for me. You know, people love to listen to me yap and don't mind the yapping, but I do want to make sure I'm staying a little bit more on the point and articulating myself well so you can get the main message. So first of all, this series will always be about, in the beginning, just having affirmations for you guys that you could take for yourself if you resonate with them, or just to, my videos can serve as like an accountability thing where you can do it too, whether I go for 30 days with this or whether I go for 60 days. I want to do at least 30 days because I think it was the book Atomic Habits, if I remember, because I listened to that whole thing on audiobook. That's like one of the only books I've read on audiobook, and it was because I was on a road trip with someone else, but then I ended up finishing that book, which it takes 21 days to wire in a new habit. So if you mix that together with consciousness, which really, this is all a science. It's spiritual, but it's really all a science of the mind, and it's all magic and also physically grounded as well. If you look into quantum physics and all that other stuff, but it takes 21 days to wire in a new habit, so you can do this with anything, literally any habit, and it's really about discipline and everything. So that's what this series sits for. So in the beginning of this video, let's just get it out the way. You're powerful, you are strong, you are everything. God supplies all of your needs. Your needs are always met. Your mind is worth millions. You are a very powerful being. Claim this shit. You are God walking around. You are literally one with God. You are God's chosen. That's one of my favorite, is I used to say I'm a chosen of Athena, and I used to literally ride by it. And people used to call me, or used to tell me all throughout my life, that I was a really wise person. And it was very funny because, when I came into consciousness spirituality, I just started saying that I must be a champion of Athena because they call her like the goddess of wisdom and everything. But, and I'm really in tune with my feminine. So I'm not afraid to get down on the video, jump up and do a little twerk. You know what I'm saying? Twerk. But, I'm very comfortable in who I am because it's like, we're all, this is all a stage anyways. And that helps you really come into who you are as a person, and you're not trying to act and put on this, like, yo, I, I love it because I actually talked to my cousin today about this. But another creator, I reference him a lot, said in one of his videos, he wonders if authenticity is the one thing that we can't manifest. And that's actually really interesting to think about, because it really is. Like, I think authenticity is one of the highest frequencies, right beside love and gratitude and other things like that, where you're truly not faking the funk. You're just being who you are and you don't give a shit. And that energy, being on that, has attracted so much of my life. I would literally say that's one of the most important things, to be yourself, no matter what. If it's a job interview or this or that, whatever, it doesn't matter the scenario, because this is all an experience under God. So be who you are, be one with God, claim this shit, because you are a child of God. Ye are gods, the Bible says it. So, embody that mindset. It's not about narcissism, it's about truly embodying who you were before this world, because nothing in this world makes you you, or makes you more chosen than someone else. It's not. Everyone was chosen by birthright. But everyone came here to play different roles. So just keep that in mind. So yeah, you are powerful. And I just want to, after getting those affirmations out, I'm gonna say my own. I'm magnetic, I'm powerful, I get the best opportunities in my life, I work with the best people, My message out there resonates with so many different people. I'm here doing exactly what I love to do. I know that my message and my ideology and my outlook on life helps heal those around me. So, and it's very funny because even before I was affirming these things, but now I'm doing it in the consciousness overdrive, I was already getting evidence of this on my other channel, the things I'm saying. I just wasn't saying it, but it naturally who I was embodying and felt like who I was at the core. Because all my life, these were just things I was told. I had older people come to me for advice and everything. It was always like, I always used to joke about how I was 30 years old at 18 with the level of wisdom and experience it felt like I had. I'm actually, I think this is recording. I'm gonna just make a cut in the video to test real quick. I want my videos to be one take, but I want to just make sure the audio is recording. So let me look real quick. Yeah, we're all set. We're all good. Let me put this back on here. So we're all clear. So yeah, like I was saying, just claim this stuff because reality really does mold to who you are, and your perception really does control a lot of what you experience. Like, it is the number one way I got over a lot of my overthinking and worrying and all of my stuff. It was meditation and just understanding who I am. Because yeah, man, the only way you could forsake yourself in this life, or really truly to forsake God, is to not understand who you are. That is truly the biggest sin, because it's like everything external of you does not make you you. This is the material plane, which, while still made from your mind, it wasn't meant for you to get invested in and overindulge and like lose yourself essentially. When it comes to any addictions or anything like that, that's right to where my mind jumps to. Your mind gets attached to worldly things, but it's like, you are the whole world. You are the universe within you. You do not need anything outside of yourself to prove your worth. Not a job application, not a job hiring thing, not a piece of paper from a college that tells you, oh yeah, you're this smart, you're born intelligence. Like this, like, we've got to let go of these things, because it's like the validation that's harming a lot of people in this world. So I hope through my series I show you that your mind will literally begin to reprogram when you wire in who you truly are. And say things that you don't cringe at, say things that feel natural to you. To me, I'm being a little more PG for my videos, but I'd be saying, like, I curse naturally a lot, so I still curse in my videos, but I'd be like, I'm the fucking man, I'm this, I'm fucking magnetic as hell. Like, I say it how I would naturally say it, so that I basically best the ego. Because if I'm talking like, again, like the Bible, I'm like, thou wilt not, my righteousness, my heart will not reproach me, as long as, like, it doesn't have the same weight, because we're in a different time. So you have to use, that's the way you master your mind. You have to know what makes you tick and work accordingly to that. Anyways, another thing I wanted to say with the series before the video is over is I'm going to change this more into like daily affirmations. I'm not even going to really put the title of the day it is on the video. I'll just let the video's date speak for itself. And if there's any is that the word discrepancy? It's discrepancy. I don't know if that's the word. It just came to mind. It just came out, and I was like, oh, okay, we're using discrepancy. But if there's any like weird like inconsistency in the videos or the upload date, I don't know, I'll address it in the next video, in the daily video, because I do plan to do this completely daily for straight 21 days, 30 days, till I get bored. And I want to keep everything over here just more raw and natural, and not really saying anything. Like, I'm not really saying anything but to unlock your true self, but I'm just gonna yap in these videos. Aside from my actual videos where I set up and have certain topics to talk about, like my thumbnails, where I'm putting something on the thumbnail, I've got a thought train in mind, and now we're just gonna hop aboard and ride it. Like, this is just gonna be raw. So again, like the shit I want to talk to y'all today about in this video is like, today was fucking wild for me. I woke up again with the intention of making a video for y'all, saying like, okay, so I'm going to turn these into more daily affirmations, where it's going to be the same consciousness overdrive concept, but I'm just going to start my morning like that, get it out to y'all. So maybe my video starts your morning if you're following along, or, wherever in the day you're following along, it'll like just be like a booster pack for you if you watch whatever time of the day like you needed to see it. But man, today just went completely left than what I thought. I started off like being like, okay, I'm whole, perfect, strong, powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. I was feeling grateful for everything in my life, and literally around 8 to 4 o'clock, or not 8 to 4, 8 to 8:46 or something p.m. or p.m. a.m. I gotta slow down. My cousin ends up calling me. We end up having a 5-hour conversation, and we start talking about some of the most insane stuff. Like, it was like we were dropping knowledge on each other, talking about like the scripture in a metaphysical way, and laughing about how simple this stuff is to manifest, and even where we went wrong. And I told her about like a job that I got offered for 100K a year, and I told her the full story of how now I realize when I look back at that, how it was really me that ended up closing that door because of my frequency, because I did manifest these opportunities to have a job for 100K a year and all that, but because I wasn't being the identity, it got taken away, because things popped up in my material world that made me react to it, that then costed me the opportunity. And I was like, bro, and it wasn't anything to do with the actual employers themselves, because I'm not like that anyways. Literally in my reality, most of the people I run into love me, and if you don't resonate with me, you don't. But I never will treat you any out of pocket way unless given reason. If you like try to, like, I don't know, step over me for whatever reason, I'm not gonna sit and pretend like I'm not a lion. Like, I'm not gonna step into the lion's den and sit and pretend. That's a bar if you know where it's from. But no, like, I'm a decent person, godly person for sure, and I'm just about my business. So it wasn't the employers that I messed up the opportunity with. It was the energy, because there was someone in my personal reality. Hence, I don't even know why they said the things that they did at the time, or even when I got too excited, which ended up putting the job on a pedestal. uh it just, little things happened outside of these things, and then I inevitably missed this interview for this really cool opportunity that I wanted. But we were talking about it today because now I realize how all of that was preparing me for now, because it's like now I have all the knowledge within my hands, and now it's just apply everything I know. Hence is why I'm doing this series, because I'm like, I'm going to do this consciousness overdrive thing again to bring all these opportunities that I want to me again. Now that I've gone through this period of like, doing little things here and there, I want to do a whole crazy big old shift once again, like I did years ago. So we talked about all this and how simple it really was, and how it really is about surrendering to your new story and letting that old self die. Like, you have to die. It's really an ego death. You have to die to all the old things you've been programmed by, or whatever that still remain in your energetic field or in your nervous system. You have to get that, because it doesn't matter what you manifest, it'll end up being taken away if you're not the identity that can sustain it. And that's exactly what happened to me in a lot of scenarios where I didn't understand, like, yo, I'm manifesting all these things. I'm even manifesting people to, like, you know, I have so many stories that I can tell y'all, because I know this shit. And that's why I want to make videos on it, because I feel like the more people who know and embody this, the more we move closer to a new earth, or a new paradigm where the darkness we kind of see on earth is more balanced, where it's like you still have your stuff and it's not perfect and it's not completely a utopia, but we live in a world where you're not afraid to have your kids be born into this world. That sort of thing. Like, that is why I do this. It is why I will do it even if one person is watching or one person is subscribed, because it just feels like naturally me. It's always been me. So that's why I'm so passionate about this, and why I talk about it so passionately, because I was somebody who, my overthinking crippled me, my anxieties and depressions, which I didn't know the labels at the time, but also I'm kind of glad, at least from my perspective, I didn't know these things, because I didn't create a almost parasitic relationship with the identity, just fucking labeling myself something, or self-diagnosing, like, oh, I have anxiety, I have this. But doctors I met and everything really aligned, like in a godlike manner, where they were telling me, like, yo, really, the mind is really powerful. Like, you can put yourself in the hospital with your mind. You could manifest illness in your body. I met really cool doctors. This one Egyptian doctor I'll never forget, man. He was like Egypt. I say he was like Egyptian, but I'm pretty sure he was because he told me, and that's why I always say that to him. But fucking cool as hell. Really showed up in my life when I needed it to. Where he told me this story about his father, who would do this thing. And I can't remember exactly what it was, but the people that were around him thought this thing was odd, but it made sense to his father, and it kept him sane, and it kept him essentially healthy, which was him telling me basically in a very dope physical way that this is all your mind, and be very careful from what you consume, because a lot of illnesses are manifested through like our stresses and everything. So then I realized, oh, like I realized that the whole trick of the game is they basically flip the world on its head, making you think like negative thinking, negative about yourself, or even humbling yourself is a positive thing, which humbling yourself into not coming off like arrogant or whatever is a good thing, essentially, depending your perspective, and not coming off like you're full of yourself. But the thing is internally, your internal dialogue is separate from that. And I think there's a lot of things that people miss, because I missed it. Because I used to look at people who were a confident person, and it made me mad because I thought they were cocky. But then I realized, oh no, I get it. When I started doing it, I was like, oh, I didn't change how I act to people. I did show up different, but it was still me, because internally, instead of being like, like almost playing myself for less or making myself less than, because I thought that's what humbling was, which it is. And the etymology behind the word humbling is crazy. Words are so powerful, because it's actually can be a really negative word, because you shouldn't humble yourself in a lot of scenarios. But um essentially I realized, like, even if you're the student to the master, the student will become the master one day. But to become the master, the levels you have to take to get to that state are already being embodied. Like, it's already in you, the spark that would make you a master, essentially, if you get what I'm saying. So you're the master in the student right now, just like when a teacher says that, oh, I'm a teacher, but I realize like I'm also the student, because I'm learning. It's a yin and yang. So essentially, you're the master now, even if you're walking into this mindset where you're going to be completely unlocked. Like, in you, you're walking the path now, even if you are struggling with anxieties and depressions. It's like that doesn't really matter, because you're the master in the making. So you're technically the master now in a quantum sense, and you can pull on that reality now, because you're not going to get there being like, oh, I keep struggling, I'm struggling with this, I'm struggling with that, and you keep being aware of the struggle. You'll never get out of it. Hence is why they keep you focused on being negative, or hopping on certain pharmaceuticals to take care of, like, that's another video, but to take care of this. And it's like, no, they're trying to keep you from realizing, and keep you from going within, being like, oh, I am the shit. Hang on, I'm godly as hell. This world can't catch me. I don't need anything outside of myself. And that's the thing too, is I almost got caught in a trap by one person who said like this stuff sounds narcissistic and everything. I almost made a whole video psychologic. I had websites, articles about narcissism, and I realized, bro, to what avail? Because I'm realizing that a lot of people have gotten caught in the war of the mind and everything. And now, like, people will see one post on TikTok or something from a podcaster and think they absolutely know signs of a narcissist and all this. And it's like, bruh. And one thing I can say about narcissists before I move off on that term is, a narcissist wants to drain you. There is some sort of gain for them, and then they try to act like, oh, I didn't do anything. That's how they get you, bro. Is they need validation. Something is fueling them. When you're calling yourself a god and being like, I love myself and I'm a fucking legend, you're not doing that for anyone else. You're doing that in private. It's who you are behind the scenes. And you are, in a metaphysical sense, you are one with the divine. So we're embodying divinity. We don't need to tell, like, I don't need to get on video and tell you that I'm divine so you give me brownie points. I don't give a shit. I did the work, because I was an overthinker, anxiety ridden, like mess. But I had a really good mask, because a lot of people couldn't tell. They thought I was just like a wise person. Man, I was suffering in silence. And the amazing women I had in my life that got closer to me, seen this and was like, wow, I just want to hold you, because like people don't see that darkness. And that's what I'm saying. That's all the work I did to get here. And that's why I'm telling you, I fell for the traps very early on. I thought it was bad to think like this because I'm like, oh my God, is there going to be some karma in all this? And then I learned that karma is even a concept that you agree to. It's all you're making the rules to this because you're source. It's your perception. And don't get me wrong, the alarm went off because it hit 10 o'clock. I said, don't get me wrong. I definitely think there's a balancing act in the universe in reality, but I don't think it works in the way people think. Like, I think because good and evil are this two sides of the same coin and all this duality that exists, I think it's all the same, right? um I think if you choose to be on that side or attract certain things that are, you know not good, but that is also a matter of perspective. Like, I think if you genuinely try to mess with someone's free will or force people to learn or force people to accept you and do all that sort of thing, and you try to manifest it or play on that scale or even do sacrifices, then you're going to reap that energy you sow. I do believe in it in that sense, in a less of a karmic sense and more of cause and effect, like the Kemet laws, the law of cause and effect, the seven hermetic principles of the universe, where, yeah, like if you are looking for that action and looking to, like, you will get it, because the reality, God, whatever you believe in, is always saying yes. So I think you reap what you sow, for sure. So that's also why I say I'm completely godly, and I know if I'm being highly embodying myself and keeping myself at a high gratitude, grateful for everything, and just the highest frequency, I can only reap what I'm aware of or pay attention to. I won't reap anything bad because I'm all these things without needing to go out and force or prove to people that I'm these things. I'm these things no matter you believe it or not. I'm not trying to convince you. I'm trying to convince you of your own power. I'm not trying to convince you of me. I don't care. Nothing makes me. No amount of numbers, status, this, money, job opportunity, no, skin color, no. We're not even the body. So when you really start to embody this, you will nullify every single ailment, at least mentally. To me, if you really put in the work, you'll kill it off. But again, it's not all the way medical advice. I have the disclaimer on my thing. I'm just saying, do what thou wilt with the information and see what happens for you. Now, all I can do is speak from my experience. So, anyways, I'm looking directly at the camera, not like in the camera's lens. So it probably looks like I'm looking off, but I'm looking at the screen because the light's also bright. So, anyways, with that said, I'm out, and this was my daily one for today. And woof, man, just today was crazy, man. The conversation with my cousin, we went 5 hours. It was deep as fuck. I'm like, yo, I love that. It helped me realize the certain parts of my shadow that I was still missing when it came to, like, what I did years ago with that job that was 100K, and even little things with my YouTube channels and stuff. So I just feel unlocked. Anyways, much love. As always, shift your life. I'm going to get a tag going or something. I'm going to say Solific Shift. I might say Shift the World. I'm just going to say that maybe, but we'll get the line down as the videos go on. I'm not even worried about that. Much love if you're watching. I'm out of here. Peace.